Working class beer reviews. Looking at Brewmasters Lite, Lite. I think this is the last one that they have of this like Walmart line of beer. Lite obviously is a play on Miller Lite, so I wonder if Miller has something to do with to brew with it. That's why they don't have to worry about getting in trouble with copyright laws. I really don't know. It makes one wonder, doesn't it? Made in the classic American style, remarkably smooth Pilsner beer, which that they say that about Miller Lite being a fine Pilsner beer. It's not really a Pilsner beer because Pilsner come from Pilsen, Germany, and it typically follows the purity law. Then there would be no corn, no adjuncts, so barley malt, water, hops, yeast. Saw a church key to can. Guys, if you are doing this, please do this. Even if you're drinking straight out of the can, it's just a better experience. It says only the finest hops, hand selected for richness by the brewmaster. So maybe it actually uses like real hops and not just pellets. I don't know. I don't know if there's a legal disclosure for that, but why would they say that if there wasn't something they weren't doing just a touch extra? B, Brewmasters Selection. Mastery in brewing is more than a title. It's revealed in the craft. When you taste true excellence, you know it's the work of a brewmaster. I think they have that in all the cans. 16, this is a pint can. I bought the 6-pack of this. It was like 7 something. They didn't have singles of this one. All the other ones I did singles of. So they were 88 cents a can for the singles. You actually get cheaper if you buy singles. And I think they saw their folly when they're pricing. 4.2% alcohol, 101 carbs, 4.6 grams of protein. That's for a 12-ounce serving. Advanced Partners 2, Irwindale, California. Still have yet to get a comment if anybody knows who the brewery in Irwindale, California is. Get a fancy pour there. Look. Oh. Nice. Look at that. A nice proper head. Never been getting so many comments like, learn how to pour beer. Yeah, you're fine. Pour your own beer. If you don't like the way I pour, you don't have to pour it that way. But I am getting a better experience than you are because I'm releasing all of the stuff that's inside the beer. You know, when you pour it out, it's not draft. When you get draft beer, it comes out and it comes out with a tall head. Even when you tilt the glass. When you start a keg, it's always very energized. Lots of carbonation in there. So when you go to a bar, you want them to pour a beer. You want it to look about like this because you're getting as much beer as you can for the money you paid for. You know, but honestly, what you want to do is charge it, let it sit, come back, and then top it off. That's really how a good beer is supposed to be poured. So, what do we get? The sun's not really directly on me, but it is very typical light beer looking. Very straw colored, very, very clear. Like I can see all these trees behind the camera through my glass, like a magnifying glass. More like a funny house glass. It's all stretchy, stuff like that. But no sediment. Well, very, very fine powdery sediment if you see anything at all. And that's natural. They're not going to put it through like a RO filter. But the head's actually retaining nicely. That's actually a very Miller characteristic, or type characteristic. Miller's known for a good, moosey, strong, very tight bubbled head. Some must have came floated around here. I don't know. But anyway, let's give it a smell. Smells like your standard lager beer. Kind of, if you saw my real American beer review, I said it smelled like paper, cardboard. That's kind of what light beers, some cheap light beers can smell like. Honestly, this is very similar. It was out of La Crosse, Wisconsin and Chicago, Illinois. So Irwindale, California. You know, I don't know if that's a City Brewing manufacturing or a brewery or whatever. I don't know if that's like a West Coast Miller brewing, or could be Anheuser-Busch for all I know. So let's give it a sip. It's clean. It is, refreshing. Not necessarily the most crisp. A little bit of a chalky aftertaste. Just a very, very mild chalky aftertaste. Right on the middle of my tongue. For what it is, it's fine. It doesn't necessarily taste like Miller Lite perfectly, but it's not far off. Do I think I could taste in a blind taste test the difference? Possibly. Typically, no. So, Miller Lite, Coors Light, Bud Light. If I was to put all three of them, I'd like to say that I could tell the difference. Miller Lite and Coors Light, no. Since they've merged, especially, I have a hard time knowing whether which one's made at what facility and how they differentiate in recipe. Oh, that was kind of weak. Still got plenty of beer here. Maybe I can get a good one. But for 80, if I was to buy this as a single for 88 cents like the rest of them, it's fine. For that, very working class. I could go and I could, pick one of these up if I went to go pick up let's say I'm doing a barbecue and I'm like, oh no, we're out of buns for hot dogs. And I'm like, all right, fine. I'll run to Walmart real quick. I'll get some buns. Buns are $1.50, something like that. And I was like, oh, you know what? Wouldn't mind having a beer for when I get back, nice and cold and ready to go. Like my cooler's not already stocked. But hypothetically, 88 cents for one of these, for a situation like that, it's going to be great. Your buddy next door is weeding his yard. You were visiting with him. You saw him weeding his yard. He's like, man, I ran out of string. He's like, hey, and I'm like, hey, I'm going to Walmart. I'll pick you up some string, and then you bring him back a beer. That's a pretty good gesture. He'd be all right with that. Maybe it's not his favorite, but you know what? When you're hot and sweaty outside, a cold beer does pretty good. I don't know how long these are going to last. So I started noticing these in late summer, early fall of 2025. And, it's worth the review. It's worth trying. For that, they priced appropriately. That's kind of hard to find these days. Everything like at gas stations, for a 25-ounce can for like Bud, it's like it's over $3 now. And for a 25-ounce can, I've got this up on down the road here. There's this gas station that has the aluminum screw top cans, the pint cans. They're $1.59 or $1.50, something like that. But I can get 2 of those, which equals 32 ounces, which is a quart, for cheaper than what a 25-ounce can of Bud is after tax. Because their 25-ounce Bud's like $3.50 something. So after tax, it's probably be close to $4 or more. With tax for those 2 pints, it's like $3.60. And I'm getting more beer. So why not just do that? Keep an eye out. Be thrifty. Pay attention. Some gas stations are just cheaper than others. I don't know why. I always went for the Genesee when I was in my old hometown in Sedalia. They had Liquor Locker that had 24-ounce cans of Genesee for $1.40 after tax. It's like $1 something, but after tax, all said and done, if you paid cash, typically some places will charge a little less if you pay cash. It's $1.40, so I could have exact change every time. I could hit the drive-through. It's one of those little drive-through type places. You could walk in if you want, but they had a drive-through window, and they knew exactly what I wanted at some point. I'm going out doing chores, getting off work, and wanting to have a beer when I get home. I just swing by and pick one of those up for $1.50. Genesee Ice. Not great, but you know what? Kind of like this. definitely priced appropriately. As long as it's cold, it's worth it. So, yeah, it's fine. And not fine in the definition of like, oh, it's ultra fine. No, it's fine. It's like it's acceptable. It's okay. You know, it's like I said earlier, it's priced appropriately. And there's nothing wrong with that, especially if you're a working class guy. You just want something, and you're really not trying to wow your palate every time you have a beverage. Sometimes you just want something cold and refreshing. A good reward at the end of the day, and there's nothing wrong with that. So this should be the cap off of this series, this Brewmasters series. I've done the Brewmasters Premium, which is like Michelob Ultra, the Cerveza, which is like Modelo, and the Brewmasters Lite, Light, which is like Bud Light, if I had to guess. And then the Brewmasters Lit. I don't know why they had to do the both, but they did. So 4 of them. Got them all checked off. If there's anybody out there that really likes these, by all means, leave a comment. If you're like, they're forgettable, which maybe they are, you know, but it's one of those things. If you're someone that likes to collect cans, could be one of those things. Like someone's gonna see, like when did they have that? Like, you know, once in a while you find these like little in-house type brands, and I talked about this before in my other Brewmasters videos. Oh God, I thought I had a good one. They had Rockdale at Walmart. Rockdale Light, Rockdale Ice. They sold it in 12-ounce cans and 24-ounce cans. The 24-ounce cans were like $1.50 at most. Could have been cheaper. And I think a 24-pack was like $15. Could have been cheaper than that. Anyone watching that has seen this video, if you remember that, that's from like 2015, 2016, in that era. Before I started doing videos. I've been watching videos since the mid-2010s. Ronald J. Terrio, Louisiana Beer Reviews, was the first channel that I started watching. And Hoggy was another one back then. I don't think he's long since quit doing video reviews. I want to say he may have gotten sober at some point, but he was slamming like whole big tall cans of Four Loko, like right before he goes and gets a haircut or something. I'm like, ugh, man. So, it's fun. I just do this for fun. If any of these were to catch fire, that's fine, all good and fine. But I'm not going to put a whole lot of effort unless it starts making money for me. But I don't. There's too much competition out there. I'm not flashy enough for that. For cheap old beers like this. But anyway, I really appreciate you guys watching this video. Let me know in the comments what you thought of this. If you tried any of them. There it is. I'll try to clip that out. But anyway, thanks guys, and I will see you guys later.